All right, welcome to another great episode of 5 Minutes with Five. And as you can see, for this particular show, we located in the Five House Studios. You know what I'm saying? Got a special guest in the building, and really, he's no stranger to Five Cast. Period. I think this is probably the third installment of him coming in. But the thing about it is, he came through when I first ever started this show right here, and I definitely see him as, you know what I'm saying, as my nephew for real. Like we really go back, and a lot of times you'll meet people and it's not genuine. And there's a lot of people that they'll meet people just to kind of get to know who they are, know them, blah blah blah, then it's over. But I can say this, from the time I engaged with him back in 2018, it's been love ever since. But without further ado, tell everybody who we're talking to right now, man.
What's going on? It's Je'Ron Hamm, Leesville, Louisiana.
Come on, Leesville,
All
Louisiana.
the way from Leesville.
Man, okay. Hey, do me a favor, Jay. Tell everybody a little brief what you used to do before we got to this point right here. Right now.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, Leesville, Louisiana, I'm a military brat.
Shout out to that Pops, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Born in Germany, grew up in Leesville by way of Fort Polk. End up playing football in my high school team there. Wasn't really expecting much there, but ended up getting a scholarship to ULM, Louisiana Monroe, and then spending 5 years in the NFL.
Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. Great pedigree with that right there. All right, now, so if you can go back, you can kind of see all the details into the life from the other episodes we had, because he really kind of detailed him coming up and everything with his sister and all the stuff like that. But this show is really about, like I said, the 5 Minutes with Five. It's really about highlighting the person and kind of just where they're at right now. And so I'll get everybody kind of caught up while I'll let you start it, because this thing for me is about really, you've made a hell of a transition, in my opinion, okay? And I say that because you've been able to go through trials and tribulations, you know what I'm saying, constantly. But you seem to always come out and just stay motivated and do that, man. And if we can start from coming out of the NFL, because I labeled this episode From the NFL to Empire. I named it that because, one, it's not about the saying, oh, this is big shiny thing at the end of the rainbow. But this young man has really come through a lot. And I think a lot of things with a lot of athletes, when they're coming out of the league, whatever league they're in, or they're coming out of college and things don't go the way they thought they were going to go, or the way they wanted them to go, I see so many people tank.
Yeah.
But if you can start from coming out of the NFL and what you kind of did coming out, and we'll start from there.
Yeah. So, of course, unexpectedly making it to the NFL out of ULM, we had a good year and got a lot of attention. So, ended up getting an opportunity, learning a new position, went in as a wide receiver. Got switched to tight end day one. So I went through that process, practice squad, getting active, getting deactivated, injury, right? And so on my way out, I was battling, recovering from a leg injury. So I started to kind of realize, all right, the slowdown is here, right? Team stopped calling for the workouts. I got released. You got new talent coming in.
Right.
So I started looking at, like, all right, what can I do after the fact in order to continue to sustain, build something solid after football, right? Because it was such a short time. I was 25, 26 at the time. So going through different things, I'm looking at Indeed, I'm looking at job listings, like, all right, what career? Everything was like $30K pay, $40K. Right. I was like, all right, I'm not going to do that. Which, looking back, I probably should have. Okay. Like, by where I would have built up to by now. But at the time, ego still kind of you fresh out the NFL. Right. Fresh off of being this.
So ego athlete can play a big part into a lot of people making certain decisions.
Ego probably is the biggest one getting out, because there's a level of, I'm too good for that. Without saying that, it's just a feeling like, well, I can't go from, playing tight end next to Trent Williams into, I don't know, selling Spectrum packages. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that.
Right beside G.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't click that way.
Right.
But when you really think about it, it's all right, if I do that in a year or two, I built up sales, because I built up a new skill to be able to branch out into whatever else it is. So that's why I say, hindsight, I probably should have went that route, but it's fine. I ended up finding hot shot trucking.
Okay.
So I seen trucking. I was like, okay, I got a slight depression PTSD, post traumatic sports disorder, and this was going to give me an opportunity. I could drive a Ram.
Mm-hmm.
I can go get secluded, duck off, right? Because there is still that level of kind of embarrassment, disappointment you feel when you go through that.
So you mean to tell me when I was watching you on YouTube, even when you posting videos and stuff like that, you were going through some things?
Absolutely.
Mentally, you know what I'm saying? In the sense of like, dad, you know, am I success? Am I failure? Because I'm trucking, you know. But you showed it though. Mm-hmm. Like most people would, and I think that's what really kind of guided me to you once I seen that. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it took a while for me even know you even played football for a while. You know, because you never really said nothing about it. Mm-hmm. You know, you were just out there doing stuff, doing chains and snowing. You know what I'm saying? You was doing all this stuff, so you never really said anything. But I just like the fact that I said, dude, this dude is forthcoming with his content. He just telling people secrets and stuff like that. But I didn't realize, you know, you could possibly going through some things at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing there, why you say you didn't hear much about it, that was intentional. So in that journey, when I started the YouTube channel,
right,
it was a test to see could I build an audience without the NFL.
Do it on your own.
Yeah. So my thing was before I even post this on Je'Ron Hamm Instagram.
Okay.
Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. I think it might have been 3,000 by the time and I still never really went hard on it on my personal because it was going well.
Right.
And so, just documenting the journey, what it's like to be. My goal there was what it's like to be a person who just got in and what it will be like because I don't have any special contracts. I don't have anything special that anybody else, you know, is coming in with.
True.
So it's going to show the majority grind of it.
Right.
But in that, there was like just trying to figure out, like, I know I can't do this long term. It never was a goal of being a 20-year truck driver. It was just learn the business. Then we were thinking hot shot fleet. Mm-hmm. But then we started to see the semi-loads and what they paid before we knew what came with having semis.
What came with it, right?
And so,
so let me hit you in that piece right there. That is a transition once again because I'm gonna pick up on all these transitions, right? Mm-hmm. So you transition from the NFL to get into hot shot trucking. So as you're doing and seeing what loads are paying for hot shots, and you kind of seeing like, oh, okay, I couldn't get that one because that was a 18-wheeler load. Oh, that might be the route to go. But once again, you didn't know the other things that came with that. You just saw you can make this. Yeah. Right? Because people are at that point. Yeah. And I even heard somebody the other day say that, man, I think I'm about to go ahead and get this 18-wheeler. Like, And I don't try to discourage. I don't discourage anybody.
No, right. You can't.
I leave it what it is. I just be like, why you say that G out of this?
Yeah.
You know, but go ahead.
That's a good point, though. Like, I try to be very cautious of discouraging anybody because I don't know how it's going to work out when you get your semi. You might get in and hit on a solid contract, meet the right person at the barbershop, grocery store. So hopefully that is the case. All I can speak from is my experience in a very objective way, though. I still try to say what could happen, what I've been hearing, and what happened to me. And they're all three different stories. Right. So do with that what you want, but you can't say I told you to go do it or not do it. Here's what happened when I did it. Right. So, so I didn't even realize that it was a big transition. Going from hot shot to semi was a huge learning curve. Initially, I'm seeing the money. Then I started to get that's when we start pulling in loves way more. Shops. Right. Pilot, we need a tire. We need roadside. And it began to wear. So that mental state I already was in. Right. Now just transitioned from what I'm going to do after football. The plan seemingly is trucking. But then I was like, this cannot be good for me. This can't. Just too many factors that affect your happiness and peace come with trucking.
Now, so the thing I did notice even that, so once you did start doing that from the 18-wheeler side, you were doing something that a lot of people weren't doing. You were showing, hey, I know it's good, we got it lows, but let me tell you about these tires popping. Let me tell you this right here happened on this truck. This right here happened on this truck. A driver did this right here. This one left the truck. This one, got arrested. Whatever it is, those things were mounting up. Because I remember one time I talked to you, and I think you was out in California. You was just out there doing something, and I think I talked to you, whatever, and you just like, man, I just need a break. Yeah, I just need a break, man.
You talking about when I had the semis rolling?
Yeah.
We took me and my wife took the kids out there to Disneyland, I think is out there in Anaheim. Right. But even then, it was like,
you was working.
Yeah, nonstop.
You was working
nonstop. swimming pool. I had to buy the little lanyard for a waterproof,
Right.
just because I'm the point of contact.
Right.
And that might not be everybody's case, which is why like I don't try to steer people away from it. I just tell them what it's like, what you can look forward to experiencing. Because I remember when I was hot shotting, there was a Love's in Oklahoma somewhere. Talking to this guy next to me, older white guy.
Right.
Talking to him about my plans. And he was like, yeah, I had a friend do that. They got 12 trucks, and it's like it was so stressful. They just wanted to go back to when they drove. Him and his wife, they enjoyed the country. At the time, I was like, I don't know about that. But now I can see where he's coming from. I also could see wanting to grow a fleet. So it just depends on how much you're handling if you want to grow a fleet side and how much it affects your piece. Ultimately, on my end, it was market conditions along with the stresses. It was like, all right, this ain't even what I want to do anymore. This ain't it ain't helping me mentally. It ain't helping the budget because rates dropped. Big companies start shutting down.
But there were still people out there hollering, "Oh, there's a bunch of money in this, and you get all this money right here." And I'll share this piece right here, and this was mainly me because I didn't care about stepping on toes. Right, my issue was within the trucking industry was the people out there just lying. Yeah. There's people out there that can motivate you, but then there's people that was lying, and I hated that because they were misguiding people. They were charging all the people for these courses, and they were making their money off of courses. That's where their money was, they're thinking, oh, they got this big operation. No, they don't. The operation is you buying this dumb course you buying, and it's killing people. And you and I had conversations multiple times, as far as me talking to you saying, you know what, I hate that these people are doing this right here. I can't stand this person for doing this. I can't stand this person for doing that, but I'd never put anybody out there. But when people would ask me, because I had a lot of people ask me stuff, and I'd be like, don't waste your time.
Yeah, to that point, when it came to courses, that was something, and like we were just talking about before we got on the air, when we connected, it was a little different with networking and trucking. It was more organic. Like, hey, look, I'm trying to get into this.
Right.
Trying to do that. On the course side, I never got into it too much. Just honestly, I never sat down to put effort into it because I didn't want to be another, like, hey, bye. I wanted to keep it, certain things, time. Pay for time because we're gonna make sure everything is solid over and over again. If you don't get it on this one, like all of my consulting calls would be, if you feel like you want to do more, let me know.
Right.
They'd be like, nah, like you explained more than I even expected. Okay, cool. And so that was kind of the YouTube channel too. The thing, course wise is that one was something I never really wanted to get into. Just that whole arena of a marketeer, even not necessarily even for the misleading people that some of the courses did, but the effort you got to put in. I was like, I'm not trying to be like this trucking person.
Exactly.
I want to help, which made me one, but at the same time, I wouldn't sell. It was just the driver left the truck. Here's what I'm doing, looking to getting this fuel card or whatever. So I could say that, although when that Russia war year and fuel rose and interest rates, I am more appreciative of trucking and what it did for me to be able to get into my next role.
Right.
The skill set, and also still being connected, because now I'm working on helping some of my drivers get into other positions. So, hey, how's it going? They like, man, boss man, it ain't like when we was rolling.
Right.
They there 3 months, a couple of weeks for some of them. I'm like, all right, I know somebody here. The problem there is I'm relying on outside sources to get the deal done.
Right.
But I'm doing my part in trying to help.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you came through the truck, coming through the trucking piece, your platform, Pro Haul, you know what I'm saying, doing great things for people and stuff like that. But with everything, it comes for transition again. So if you can talk about, what I'm saying.
Yeah. So towards the decline, right, everybody still had those hopes when rates weren't looking too good, fuel was up. Everyone saying next month,
right?
I'm hearing this, and freight waves, and CEO of whatever Warner expects to turn around here, just dangling that carrot for us to hope for.
Right.
I was at a golf tournament, and I was a guest athlete, so I played with a team. I was pretty good at it too,
right? And
so they weren't expecting that, but just in talking and networking while I was there, a guy was like, what do you do? And so I started, when you in settings like that, you want to,
Right.
yeah, I own a trucking company, and I did this on Pro. I built the brand here.
Right.
He was like, okay. He was like, man, I was gonna say, he's like, I'm in tech sales, like I make $500,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you exhibit the type of presence that we look for. He's like, of course, I'm an executive, but I think you'd be really good.
Right.
And he was like, but that's good that you got trucking. And internally, I was like, well, trucking really is kind of not what I'm trying to stick in.
Right.
And if I could get an opportunity where, because I started doing research too at that point, like, dang, how are you making this much?
Right.
Started getting, reaching out to people I knew,
Mm-hmm.
and they're confirming, like, yeah, sales is where it's at. Any type of sales, but
Right.
tech at the time for sure. So I reached out to the guy. I didn't say nothing there. I reached out to him. I was like, hey, look, I know I said I'm in trucking.
Right.
I said, but actually, like, I am looking, like, how can I expand my skills and how can I use what I learned? Because as you know, trucking is redundant. It's
Right.
more trucks, more loads, more trucks, more drivers,
Right.
more trucks, more problems. Had to throw that in there.
Definitely that.
So he was like, oh, yeah, he sent me over some info. He's like, just learn what this stuff is, like AWS. And,
Right.
and me, I picked up on it quick. And so that led to me starting to decide, like, okay, well, I have a plan now. I
Right.
have a plan I can go into. This dude is an exec. He's setting meetings up with other people who are execs at companies.
Mm-hmm.
We going to lunch. He looking out for me. He was a black guy too.
Right.
So we in the rooms with all the white guys, and I'm impressive. Ultimately, I don't have the sales skill that they were looking for in the technicality aspect, but it was fine because it got me. They would be like, but here's my friend, and so I started taking those meetings alone. So I hit up my homeboy Cam Willer. Shout out to Cam.
Shout out to Dago Cam.
My dog Cam. And this is one of them. This is a whole nother lane we could go down. But when people genuinely like you and they want to see you win, they don't mind helping you. So I hit Cam up because I knew he was in talent acquisition. And so hit Cam up. I was like, hey, look, Cam, you know my background. NFL, I haven't done any interviews. I haven't done any call prep, anything like that.
Right.
I was like, what should I expect? So I'm looking to Cam more so to guide me on what to say on these interviews of the people who I'm meeting.
Right.
When I go to the meetings, because they weren't necessarily a traditional interview. They were lunch. Like,
Okay.
but I'm still interviewing on the lunch, but it's
Right.
more personable. So Cam was like, he's like, yeah, I'll help you out. He was like, sure, I'll throw your hat in our name too. Like, or I'll throw your name in our hat for hiring. He was like, they'll probably say no, but it don't hurt to try. But they didn't say no. So we started. He was like, all right, J-Ham, you made it to this point. He's like, dang, this is crazy. So made it to the next point. He helping me prep on this side and also do well on the other side.
Right.
So I went through that process, started. In that time, I'm working on shutting down the trucking company. It's not profitable. We had a couple of investor trucks. So I'm talking to them like, look, let's park it because you losing money at this point.
Right.
And I thought I was going to be starting tech sales or some type of in the tech industry in January because
that's January 23.
23.
20,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
All right.
January 23. So I think the last day operation for trucking was December 20th.
Okay.
So I'm expecting at least Q1. But then that's where I start seeing on Instagram, Amazon fires. So Microsoft, I was like, hold up now. This is where I'm supposed to be going.
Right.
Ultimately, where I was supposed to go, stopped hiring.
Right.
And I was like, dang, all right. I'm good for now. I got a little hold off cash, where we good. It's just not concerning. So he was like, Q2, let's check back. I think we'll be good there.
Right.
Q2, nothing happens. That's so beforehand when I was saying construction, I was like, well, how can I make some money while I wait? Because I did want to get into it. I didn't want to jump to something else. I was like, all right, I could see, where I could go with this, what it'll do to my resume to even speak, to talk to corporate people, conferences, whatever the goal may be in the end with speaking. So I was like, all right, let me try something. So I printed off these colorful cards and just said like residential remodel.
Right.
I was like, I know people.
Yeah.
I started going to construction sites, talking to different leads. Like, hey, y'all do this? Okay.
Right.
Can I call you when I get these type of jobs? They're like, yeah. So I started passing them out, and I get to a gas station. I go in there. It's ran down, but I'm just, at this point, I'm like, what else could I do today? Let me go spread the business name. And so the owner calls me back later. He's like, hey, you stopped at my gas station. You said you guys could do renovations. Can you come back? I was like, yeah, we're booked up, but I could come mid next week.
Right.
It's just me. We don't even have any deals yet at this point.
Right.
He's like, okay, cool. We hang up. I'm like, now I got to find somebody who can do the work he just described to me.
Right.
So I started calling around and ultimately got connected with this crew through a mutual friend. And they was like, yeah, we could do this. So we went and toured it, gave the estimate, all that. The owner accepted the estimate.
Right.
And, we ended up getting 2 jobs, the gas station and they had a laundromat. So we did some stuff in there. And so the lead of the team, he was like, dang, how long you been doing this? I was like, the day I called you, the day I started. He's like, dude, you got some balls to accept a job. I said, well, I knew if I came to you with something of value, you would be more inclined to talk to me versus saying, hey, look here, I got the deal for you. How can we work up a split? And then let's do more.
Right.
I ain't trying to, I'm connecting the dots and getting the fee. And so did that for a while. That was solid. And in that time, I'm still waiting on the tech process. End up getting a call from like a recruiting agency. It was consultant/recruiting for energy. So I took that, learned a little bit of sales on the inside.
Right.
That it was more geared toward recruitment. So I knew I wasn't going to be there long, but it was a holdover while I still waited. And also it added sales technically to the resume. And so
building that portfolio.
Yeah. So
personal portfolio.
End up never getting that role I was waiting on. Got suggested because they was like, we still not hiring over here, but we think you'll be good, on this team as well. Right. And so them remembering me from the previous year put me back in the hat. Okay. Got in a solid position. On that call, the VP was like, we don't typically hire people like you, not black though, not black. It's like we don't hire people who haven't been in this industry for like less than 4 or 5 years. Right. He's like, but I like you. He's like, you did well. Like you seem like you know what you're doing. Right. This ties back to trucking though. They looked at Pro Haul TV. They looked at like building a brand on YouTube, having your own business. They're like, you ran campaigns before. You know about marketing. You know about sales. You know about people management. I was like, yeah, cool. And so got into that. And that's where I've been more recently, along with still the driver recruiting part. Right. I don't blast that too much because it's more so my drivers. Right. My old drivers, I had like 20 or 30 over that duration. So 2 of them over here, they get gone after 3 months. They don't like it. And they're not getting charged anything. It's just the company's getting hit. Right. So got that going on the side. And then we're waiting on verification for the 8A process. It shut down for a while. I don't know too much about this, but it's another thing. Like, why not try? Right. And so, yeah, that's where we at.
Man, that's it. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's transition over transition, and not just falling to the wayside, because a lot of people, they do it. I've seen people come out of different careers and then they don't know where they're at. And if things don't work or they're not at that level where they were from the previous thing, they feel like they're a total failure. Yeah. Do you see that in a lot of cases?
Yeah, no, for sure. And that was one thing I thought about with the Pro Haul TV crowd. Like my main reason for just getting quiet is for the crowd I don't have anything of value to offer you, seemingly. Right. It's when I get messages like, hey, where you been? Like, we just want to see you. Yeah. Like, then I'm like, oh, maybe I could post something else on here. Maybe I'll post like my workouts. Maybe I'll post what I'm doing now, stuff like that. I slowed down because it's like I told them on a video before, I don't have nothing to say. Like, I don't know. Hey, I'm right there with you.
Keep it real.
Yeah,
huh?
I don't know what's going on. And so I do see people duck off, and from sports to even the trucking industry, and when it slowed down. Mostly the people who were saying bye, get in, right, are the ones that would want to be quiet. It would make sense to be quiet. Yeah. But yeah, I get it, and I recognize that enough to not let it happen for myself. Right. Like intentionally, I need to say something. Just let them know I'm still here. Right. Like I didn't run away and just leave y'all. It's just I'm going through the same thing y'all going through.
Right. And see, I think the good thing about it is, like I said, you didn't do the things a lot of those other people did by saying, hey, this, boom, 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 and this right here, killing it, this right here.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't do that. You really, from the start, bro, you was just, to me, you just genuine in it. Hey, man, let me help you. You know, you made your ebook. It was some people that stole your stuff and tried to reprint it and resell it. You know, I watched that. That pissed me off with some people that did that to you. Then, you know, you were out here, you were giving it away to people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I figured, and that was beautiful.
Yeah, I figured if it's getting that bad, then let me just be the bad guy by being good, because this group can hate me because I might be messing up they hustle and hustling in the negative viewpoint. Right. But this group loves me. The vast majority loves because they can come here and get stuff. Get stuff of value, go take it, use it. He didn't charge me to figure out like what I need to do if I have a blowout in the middle of nowhere, or how to find a driver, or how to retain a driver. He didn't, you know. And so I wish I still had it. I'd be missing it. I'd be missing the Pro Hall TV connection. But then on the other side, on my other channel or my other page, there's more fitness. I'm you know, showing a little bit more of that, like other stuff that I've already have been doing that I just didn't show the Pro Hall TV side. So some people came over there, and that's cool. And we still, like us, like we still connected. We always locked in. But even some of the people who just reach out every now and then, they're on my regular page, and they'll just, hey, what's up? Just checking in. And so it's cool. I built great relationships off of it. Right now, I'm just at a point of trying to figure out what to do with it. What to do. Right.
Well, listen, it's very motivating. And I say this right here. I'm around people who do fitness stuff like that. But I can tell you, like, even when I posted the story or the post with you went on the show, when I was watching it and I was listening to what the orator was saying in the background or whatever, and then I'm watching you, but because I've watched you over these years, you get what I'm saying? And a couple times I seen him, you working hard. I said, I wonder if he's going back into the league, because he so they just working hard right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, but you always continue to push that fitness mind state, man. So you're a motivator for me in that. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And I know I need to go get in the gym and stay in the gym. You know, because this is something I know I should do. But I guess because I did it for so many years, you know, I just kind of like, listen, this is an option for me at this point. You know what I'm saying? But I know what I need to do, but you do motivate me that way. So I definitely know that, and you have a presence too. That's different. Everybody don't have that presence. And I think even with the people who were saying, oh, no, we don't normally do this, but you're a good fit. It's a presence about you that I think that walks before you. You know, it could be aura or whatever we want to call it. You know what I'm saying? And it can fit so many different things. You know what I'm saying? So I think with this fitness thing, bro, however you decide to spin it or do it, I think you'll have something. Yeah. Real talk.
And the funny thing is, whenever my goal is just to post my workouts, because people ask, what do you do? Like, why you burn 1,500 calories a day? Right. I'll be the first to say that's not normal. Everybody in the group, we do the same thing, but they not all burn that. It's just because I'm a bigger person. Right. But it was more so to show, like, all right, here's what I'm doing. But then it was like, hey, you dropping a program? Hey, can you do this? I was like, see, that's what I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to be and I guess it's good, right? It's growing, but that's not the intention. It's more just to post what I do. Fitness is a big part. Even when I used to take stuff on the truck, like the jump rope, the push-ups, all that stuff, the little push-up pad. Right. And so that's going forever. Like tomorrow, my boy heading out of town to Mexico. We going to hit the gym at 5 a.m. Right. I'm going to have a long night. He going to Mexico. We going to go. That's how I'm going to connect with him out here. That's my old teammate. My boy, I was in his wedding, Ryan Grant.
Okay. Shout out to that Ryan Grant. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him, but shout out to him anyway.
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy. So that's he came to Dallas a couple weeks ago. We went and got it in 5 a.m. Right. I'm in his city. We're going to go get it in 5 a.m. And then really I had to slow down on posting too. Excuse me.
What was
that? Just going through different things with the league and watching, right? The league tries to keep as much from you money-wise. And if you show
okay, got it.
They don't know that in them workouts, I'm still hurting. The thing that I got
you hurt.
I'm hurting.
It's kind of like disability in a sense, right? For the military.
It is. It's exactly after
Yeah.
the league. Like every injury you've gotten, you could go report it.
Right.
And those points add up to like a dollar amount.
Right.
You could do that for the league as a whole, for specific states, some more than others, some
Right.
work, some don't. But after that, there's nobody telling you that when you get out. It's
No,
other
of
people
course.
like, hey, bro, make sure you do this. Like,
The same as the military.
yeah, what you talking about? I could get what? But in that, you got to kind of slow down just so
Right.
nothing is like misconstrued as he's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't know I got to take 2 days off after
After that, right?
day or
and
something like that.
That's just a snapshot.
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can give you something for 30 seconds, 20 seconds.
Facts.
But let me show you what I'm looking like when I'm walking. It's kind of like when we used to play ball, and play basketball. When we walk in the gym, we blah, blah, blah. But we're going to play 100 games. But when we walking out, we looking like a bunch of old men and we young.
That's it.
You know, and that's the same thing. And I think it's a lot of guys my age who get in here and try to play basketball. I be telling them, I say, bro, you know what you're going to feel like after you start playing today, right?
Yeah.
You know when you walk into the car, you're going to be about
They
dead.
hurting.
You know, and that's what it is right there. Now, let me ask you this real quick. As far as the league, I'm just trying to understand some things about the
Oh,
league.
yeah. I'm an open book.
You taught me something the last time you was on the show about the how people get paid and if they go in a certain many downs and you know that really you tore me up when you told me that, man, because I swear everybody on that damn team was rich.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying? Even though they make good money, I think somebody just talked about that from the NFL on one of these shows that's kind of popular. The guy kind of broke it down the same way you did. He said, I'm not saying people broke. You know what I'm saying? They making like much what doctors make.
Yeah.
You know, they're making that type of money. But as far as what people think, everybody on that roster is not making that type of money. So this is my thing. Out of all the football players that's been around, right? Do people really stay cool after the league? Because, you know.
Yeah, I think like any group, you develop those real relationships. Like me and my boy Grant, who lives out here, we just was cool, and we kept being cool as we moved to different teams.
Right.
He was my dog out there. We kicked it. He was a person who was kind of mellow like myself. So
Right.
we was chilling. We would chill. We wasn't doing too much. We wasn't going out partying. Like not on the sense of I'm an athlete partying. It's just I ain't
Right.
trying to be around that. I don't know who these people are. I ain't trying to be exposed. I just
Right.
want to be ducked off. So yeah, some of them do stay cool, but it's so many different interactions. It's hard to keep up with everyone because I don't even know some of the O lineman names from some of the teams. You know, it take a while, and then especially if you was changing teams every year or different transactions happening, it's hard to keep up with everyone. But what I plan to do, because I get emails like come back to a game, Redskins, Saints,
Right.
Niners and stuff like that. So I'm gonna start tapping into that a little more and getting back involved and seeing who I can reconnect with.
Right. Nah, I think that's cool, man. So any plans, since you're going to be down here, any plans to go to the Houston game tomorrow, or you don't even look at it? Do y'all enjoy football? You know what I'm saying? After y'all have done it, because it's, I'm going to say like within in the military, and your dad can speak on this, I'm sure. Like we see it totally different. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody can, this right here, we looking at it like this.
Yeah.
Because we know the
That's not
game.
realistic.
We know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all do that?
Some guys probably do. Again, I wasn't a football fan. I didn't play Pee Wee and all of that. I just did what was on the paper. Like, I didn't study defenses and all that stuff. I literally was progressing and getting out there because I could run routes and I could catch really well.
Okay.
So when I turn it on, I feel like I'm obligated to turn it on. Just with any sport, I can't watch a full game. Basketball, football.
Right.
I like to watch like either Red Zone channel or catch highlights on Instagram.
Right. Because it'll just keep moving.
Yeah. Then I ain't gotta sit and watch the whole Packers versus Cowboys. I ain't gotta watch the whole thing.
Right.
I typically watch whole games when it's like right now. So I'll watch the game. I like C.J. Stroud.
Yeah. Shout out to that young man, man.
Yeah.
That young man came here and just tore up that man, and he believes in God, and that's what I love about him. You ain't gonna pull him out of that.
No.
He said everything's based off God, and let me tell you, God made all this happen. I love that about that guy.
Through that draft process, there was a point where like we take the Wonderlic test, and it's like supposed to test your intelligence, and I don't think his score was that of like what other quarterbacks were. So they were like, he shouldn't be a top
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was something I seen on Instagram, like he shouldn't be a top. And I was like, come on now. So to see how it's playing out, it's like, all right, that's perfect. Nothing against his homeboy who went, I forget his last name, but Bryce, whatever, with the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like the model student, you know, scored well.
Right.
Number one pick coming from Bama.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud is questionable only because his test.
Right.
And he's just like proving everybody wrong. So
his football intelligence is crazy.
yeah, come on, can I play?
You know,
That's all that matters.
And that's what it's about. Can I play? Can I play? And can I play? You know. So I'll end with this right here. You have been remarkable, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about just, and you're still ascending, bro. That's the thing about it. Like you're not even close to where you're gonna be at. I see it in you.
Yeah.
I see it in that, and that'd be so amazing when I see people like that. It's like this dude ain't even touched the bottom of where he going.
It takes people like you though to for a lot of us to realize that. Like sometimes you could be so modest that you humble yourself out of a situation or an opportunity.
Right.
Because I'm small town, Leesville, Louisiana, 6,000 population.
Right.
Louisiana Monroe. I had one car before the car I got right now. I had my high school car to
Right.
me NFL, and I got the car in the NFL. I still drive it.
Right.
Like I ain't never thought too much of too much. Never thought too much of anything. Clothes, shoes, jewelry. I might wear this to the gym tomorrow.
Right.
If we being honest, it's gonna get dirty anyways. So,
but that came from a strong family too, man. You I think you had a great support system as far as you know what I'm saying, parent, and your guardianship was on 1,000, man.
Yeah, I be chilling, man. I've learned a lot about money, right? Putting it up. I work out a lot, so I put most of my money into workout clothes. This came from my homeboy Grifto, UTSA.
Okay.
They've been winning since his coaching staff been there, so he sent this over to me. So I appreciate that. I wear it, work out, come do the podcast. Like, I'm just real low key, man.
Right.
If I need to do anything that I find luxurious, I will go buy a shirt or something for that. But I'm not just that's for that event.
Right.
Speaking of, I went to an event with Jeff Bezos' brother, Mark Bezos.
Okay.
And,
I didn't know he had a brother.
Yeah, he just not as rich guy too. But that made me think because I had to get dressed up to go to it. When I was the only youngest and the only black person in there. It was about 20 old white men. But that just made me think I got dressed up for that. I thought about it. It's an event.
Right.
But day to day, I'm chilling. I'm playing with my kids. Chilling with my wife. Like life is good.
Right.
And it got better once we parked it. Yeah, it got better.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there.
And that don't even mean, right? A lot of people want to equate your own happiness to what they find as happiness or what they think is happiness. So that don't necessarily mean money, because in trucking, like you have recurring money, recurring income, recurring expenses.
Right.
But the happiness part that I'm discussing is like the things I have are taken care of. What we talked about. Can you be happy? Are you happy? Can I take my kids and my wife on the trip when we want? Yes. Can we drive what we want? Yes. With these interest rates, I got a low 3% interest rate on a house that appreciated $200K.
Yeah.
I ain't doing nothing with it, but hey, it's good to know something. You know,
something
like,
can't be. Yeah.
Like, so I'm able to take care of all of these things.
Right.
The word ET used on this podcast was bliss. Living in bliss. Like things are. She noticed a difference, right? I could treat her. I could give more energy because I'm not using it up on blowout at 2.
Worrying about that.
Yeah, stuff like that. And so it got better after that. But like I was saying, it takes people like you who constantly remind, like, hey, it's not a don't stop or anything like that. It's just like, hey, you ain't even where you think you could be.
Right.
And I say I recognize that in a humble way because you're right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, history has shown me that now.
Yeah.
Like I'm able to be confident in that statement.
Right.
Before it was like, thank you for telling me good words, but now I can say you're right.
Man, and then you're still young, you know what I'm saying? And not young in a bad way, but how old are you now? If you don't mind telling.
31.
So you're 31 years old. You know what I'm saying? Bro, that is, to be 31 and at the point that you are is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I was just, honestly 31 and I was doing the things I was doing within the military, and I hadn't even reached my optimum physicality at 31. Not even the optimum. I was a beast. I was like 280. I was a beast.
Yeah.
But I hadn't even reached the optimum at 31 years old. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
My mind wasn't even developed nowhere like your mind is developed. You know what I'm saying? I probably do all this physical stuff and go jump out of the plane and go be this place and do all that. But I hadn't even grown into my body at that time. I hadn't grown into my mind at that time. Right. And I definitely, I'm going to tell you, I wasn't at the point where you're at now mentally. I was not there. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I know that, bro, there's so much greatness that you have in you. And this is the thing I would want any of these young people that's coming out of any league to understand. What they say, the average time in the NFL is what?
Like 2.5 years.
2.5, 3 years. So, people generally go in, what, 22, 23? When you get in there?
I was about 21.
Okay.
Somewhere in that range.
Okay, so 21 years old. So let's say you're out by 25, right? Trust me, we're in Houston. I see some of these athletes that are out of the league. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to pretend this, but they it's just what it is. They're just trying to hang around people or whatever to kind of look this thing, but they're tail spinning. And by the time they're 30, they look like somebody, old somebody.
Yeah,
because they're lost.
Trying to hold on to that is taxing. It's like, come on, because you still got friends in the league. Me, like I said, I was low key, and most of my partners who I still rock with, we went through similar journeys.
Right.
Late round pick, some played, some got contracts, but we all know that grind coming from where we come from. The ones who can't let it go, right? You end up wasting time because you're not developing any skills.
True.
That's why that goes back to maybe I should have got into sales a little early, even if it was entry level. But what I did in truck ended up working and helping me do what I needed to do.
Right.
Wasting time, spending money, and then you go home unhappy. Right. You go home. If you go to your home, like I had things taken care of after the league, from the league. League allowed me to get what I needed to get.
Right.
It was on me to figure out how to keep what I got. And a lot of people don't focus on getting what they need to get.
Right.
So they never could get it because they trying to focus on keeping what they had.
And that's a sad thing, you know what I'm saying? Well, I ask you this right here. What is some advice that you have to give anybody coming out of the league? If there's one piece of advice you had to give them, what is that piece of advice?
Yeah, coming out the league, I'd say get into something as soon as possible. And it don't even got to make you happy at that moment, but you need something to maintain an income. A lot of times we get out with a chunk and we good. Then that chunk goes away quick, right? You could see it dropping 300, 350, or 300, 250, 225, 190. It's like, get something that you can continue to have an income and learn the skill. So you're going to have to kind of do a little research on industries. Or if it's entrepreneurship, get a mentor, invest some of that money into that on the front end instead of when you don't have it and you already put your business in the dumpster fire.
Right.
And so I guess to sum that up, just keep going at something. Everybody's going to try to be a personal trainer. Everybody's going to try to be a real estate agent. Some will try trucking. Some will try like drop shipping. Just try something though. Do something, build a skill, then figure out how to articulate that skill into whatever other opportunities come your way. That was what was big for me.
Right.
I'm looking at trucking like I'm just booking loads. Well, no, I generated, X. I generated X amount of revenue.
There you go. Learn to articulate that thing.
Yeah.
Because it'll look good on some paper if you have to present it in front of people, or you'll be able to talk it in a better sense. You know, and that's a great thing, man. Well, bro, I appreciate you coming down. I really do, man. Thank you. And thank you for just continuing to being who you are. Continue to being a young man that I already know is just gonna supersede the stars, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got it in you. Great family, man. You know what I'm saying? Them kids growing up so daggone fast, man.
Oh, yeah,
Every time I see a picture, I'm like, well, Daddy, they was just like this.
Man.
Now the baby around there throwing stuff at people.
Oh, let me tell you. My boy, I had 2 girls first. My boy,
Yeah.
I thought my second daughter was like a bad, quote unquote bad, not bad,
Right.
but active. My son got her by 10x. This dude here, all over the place, jumping off.
The man just be doing it, huh?
Yeah, he's not even 2 yet. He'll be 2 in February. And part of me be like, I want to whoop you, but I'm proud. Like,
Right.
You go be bad. Be inquisitive. Go hurt yourself a little bit, and he light skinned too, so they give it. They give it.
He got that complex. give him the business.
Go get tough. Go be tough.
Go do your thing. Get your light bright on. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I appreciate you once again for coming through. This has been a great episode of 5 Minutes with 5. And, yeah, I know it's been 45, but it's 5 Minutes with 5. That's how we do it here on 5Cast live from the 5 House Studios.